Hi, and welcome to the Love How Deep podcast with Brian and Heather Mayer. Our purpose is to equip married couples like you with resources that rely on the transformative power of God's Word to strengthen your relationship.
Hey, everybody. We are so happy that you have decided to join us again today for another episode on Love How Deep. Yeah. What episode number is this?
I think we're on 57.
He's my numbers guy, right?
My dad would like this one because that's probably reminds him of a 57 Chevy, which is probably one of the most sought after cars in the world. So
Is that the one he has?
that's how we'll remember this. No, he does not have one of those, but
He had something.
he would appreciate it, I think. Although, well, we won't get into that.
So, yeah, our episode for today is called A Morning Routine for Marriage. So I think that we all definitely get into our routines and our ruts. Sometimes it can be a rut, but we get into a routine of how we do things. And we notice how much we, I think, are emotionally or mentally thrown off when we go on vacation.
Mm.
We have all the things that we need, but it's not all in the same place. And so that can throw us off of like the order in which you do things and where it's all located. It's in this
That's right.
drawer, it's under the sink, it's, behind me, like whatever it is. Yeah. So we really get stuck in our routines. And sometimes in our routines, the problem becomes that we just become two ships passing in the night or in the morning.
That's true.
So we're going to talk about that today and how maybe just some tweaks that you can make in your morning routine
Yeah.
that can help keep that connection going, because I think that's what we notice is that we have a stronger connection because of some things that we do in the morning that we're going to share with you. So we're going to dive into our personal lives just a little bit.
That's right. And I think this became pretty important to us just a few years ago when we had an island in the kitchen, and I noticed we had a couple of stools there, and we would just start maybe eating a little bit, and we just started noticing that we were talking a little bit more, and it just kind of morphed into that. And we're in a different home now, so
But
got
we
a little
still
bit
do
of a
that.
different setup. But yeah, and it's become very important to us.
It really has, because it gets that day started on the right foot, So we're going to get into all of that as we dive into our morning routine.
Yeah, and as we talk about this, we're going to talk about our routine. But again, as you're hearing this, think about your routine and maybe trying to implement some of these things or some of the things on your own. So,
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing is we wake up and try.
We wake up and we just do a little bit, personal hygiene stuff, whatever we need to do. You don't want to hear all of that, but yeah.
A little bit of freshening up. I mean, it's not the
Something.
complete, presentation, but at least we do a couple of things. Maybe I throw on my contact lenses, and I like to wash my hair, first thing if I can. So, you probably throw on a little bit of makeup.
No,
You don't do that.
no, I wash my face. We have to do it first. But then, next comes the cats because, they're hungry. So Brian goes and feeds our sweet little Butterscotch and Ollie Pop and takes care of that. And then he starts the coffee going. And it's funny. I can hear the coffee upstairs. And so I always know when it's ready. I hear it bubbling in the little espresso thing.
You told me that the other day.
And I'm like, that's my cue. So whenever I'm in the middle of a stop, because I want to come and have coffee with you. So that's really one of the biggest things that we do for our morning routine is we have that coffee together. And a lot of things that we're going to mention take place while we're having that coffee.
Yeah.
And that's just become such a special time for us.
That's it. And a couple of things about coffee. Number one, I did not drink coffee before I met you.
I got him hooked.
Right, she did. And then number two, I like to have a little bit of flavored cream in mine. You've actually been drinking yours black for quite a while.
I drink it black.
And you would think that would kind of be flipped typically, but we just do good things differently around here.
I know. I don't do it for flavor reasons. It's for health reasons. So whatever. But he knows how I like my coffee.
Right.
So you just pour it in the cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we come down here to the basement.
Yeah, we're down in the renovated basement. We've shown this to you before.
Chairs, right. So we just hang out down here. The lights are low and we hang out, drink our coffee, and
just kind of slowly, wake up a little bit.
The cats join us.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't really we're not engaged in a big, long conversation. We're just sipping on the coffee, maybe looking at the phone a little bit, just for a minute or two.
Nothing serious.
And then usually somebody ends up saying something or asks a question.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of starts to get going a little bit.
And I think you usually have some music going.
Yeah, I like to play a little
Which is
music. I
nice.
don't like to have it completely dead silent in
Yeah.
here. So
I think music just really speaks to both of us.
Right.
We love our worship music, and usually that's what's playing. But, it can be anything else that we like. But it just, I don't know, just fills the airspace and lightens the mood and things like that. So then from there, I think that, we're just chatting about like what we have going on for the day, how many students I'm going to be working with, or do I have a meeting after school, or how many clients do you have? What do we have going on that evening? And what's the weather? I think, those are important things, but really it's like these morning check-ins of like what the rest of our day looks like.
Right.
And I think that's really important.
And then we've been kind of getting into a bad habit, which maybe this is a different episode about our dinner. It seems like we've almost turned into Europeans where they go to the market like every day.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so we might be like, okay, what's for dinner? And then it's like, oh, we don't
No
have
idea.
anything. So
I'll go to the grocery store around the
Right.
corner on my way home from work. One of us does that, and it's like
Right.
grab and go something
Yeah.
quick, which is That's,
So there might be
that's
conversations
laziness.
about that.
Yeah, there's conversations about dinner
we're
because
still-
we have no food in the
Yeah.
house.
So we think we've got the morning routine worked out. Maybe the dinner routine, again, is another topic
Well, it's
that
just
needs to
meal.
work. But we can talk about it in the morning.
It's meal planning that
Mm.
we can do
Yeah.
this weekend, and then I
Mhm.
can shop for it.
Yeah.
So that's just been laziness on my part.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
that was total rabbit trail.
it was.
And we're gonna get back on track,
That's right.
as I like to say. So we chat about our day and what's going on in the evening, and it might even involve like phone calls that we have to make to, or texting to friends and family, or things that they have going on. So there's a lot of sharing in that as well. So it's more than just like a checklist, a to-do list of like, this is what I'm doing at school, this is what I'm doing at work, at the office. Like there's more to it. We try to have more involved conversation, or anything that's coming up, or anything that happened the night before that we kind of want to, the brain
Just
that we might want to debrief about, or process
I was-
back on track. See?
yeah. I was going to say we are planners, I would say.
Yes, we're planners.
And so we enjoy being able to talk about what's coming up. And we're not the type of people that fly by the seat of our pants, I don't think, usually. We have some friends and people we know that are kind of like that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but that's just not you and I. Like, we really value and enjoy the time here
I think
to
so.
spend a little bit of time maybe talking and planning and looking at what's coming up. Hey, did you think about this, that we have this going on? Hey, what about this part of that? And then
Right.
we can
How are we
kinda
going to make
talk
things
about it.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's important because in the busyness of our day, this rut that we get stuck in that I kind of mentioned in the beginning, like we forget to communicate with each other about our day, about our own personal to-do list and things that are happening. And, being empty nesters, we don't have to go pick up kids, but maybe you do, and you need to talk about that because maybe you've got to trade off or something. Maybe one of you's going to be late because of a meeting. Like these are just things that you want to talk about because you don't want it to turn into, well, I didn't know, you didn't tell me situation. Y'all know that gets ugly. That gets ugly. And it's little things like that seem so small can just drive the biggest wedge between you. And that, honestly, that's what we don't want to happen, That's why we give you these kind of tips and glimpses of our life. Not because we're perfect, because we're not. We're not. But these are just some things that we do to help our marriage be as good as it can be. And part of the morning routine is just stronger communication.
The Bible talks a lot about giving your first fruits to God. I mean, I feel like number one, we do that with some of the things, and we'll talk about one of those in just a moment. But
for sure.
But also we give the first fruits to each other. It's like, hey, this is a sacred time that we want to spend together. And
Right.
and we'll talk in a little bit about, you that are watching or listening, again, you may not have a full amount of time to do all of these things that we're talking about, but we would encourage you, just, you got to find something, you got to find some way to connect, even for just a few minutes. But probably
Agreed.
what our favorite one that we're going to talk about next is the devotional typically that we'll do.
That's really good too.
Yeah, we'll do like a verse of the day. We subscribe to a daily verse, and then I've also found something new that it's written by a pastor, that sends out a devotional every day, and we'll read through that. And usually it'll be, either a Bible verse or a Bible story, and then kind of like asking some questions about how do we apply this in our lives.
Yeah, I like the question piece because that does help you kind of personalize what you've just read and together between the verses and between just the devotional portion. The questions are always good too. Which, I'm going to bring it up again. That's communication. And that's what you need. That's what you need.
And there are some days where we don't have a whole lot to say about the questions. Then there's other days, every once in a while, where it really sparks something and we really get something out of it, and it's a lot of great dialogue.
Right.
The neatest thing that I love hearing from you is when you'll say something like, "I've never really thought about that," or I might say that too, which is telling us that, hey, this is probably something that is, again, different and out of the ordinary, and something that's important that we should think about or talk about.
Right. And one of the things that I really like about that is how it can spark even a memory or something like that in our past, and we can discuss that and make connections there. So it's not always just a super, like, I don't want y'all to ever think that we're super spiritual, because that's not what this is about. But it's like, we're really able to just kind of look at our lives under a microscope, I guess, and piece things together, and I don't know, come to some realizations about some things. Maybe something that happened affected us now. I think all of those things are good because it just helps you understand yourself better and understand your spouse better.
Yep.
And that's good. That's what you want. That's what you want, to always grow with each other too.
Yeah.
And I like one of them that we do, one of the devotionals that's emailed to us. It has like a song. So sometimes we'll listen to the song. It has a kind of a question about which person in the Bible did X, Y, Z, whatever it is. I can't think of anything.
Choice.
And then there's choice. So you click on it and get the story behind it, which is kind of cool. And it's just takes you a little bit deeper, and I like that. And then there's like a quote or just different things.
Just a lot of like quick hitting, which I think is good for the morning. We don't want to read a chapter in a book in the morning. We just don't have time for that, and I don't have the brain power for that.
I don't think the coffee has taken effect yet.
Right. So it's like quick little hitting things.
Just a little thing, yeah.
Which kind of, speaking of the word quick, we also have a word game that we like to play on the phone. We don't do this every day, I would say.
But it's fun to do that.
Yeah. It's a quick little word game, and, we'll kind of, go back and forth with each other. Okay, what's your guess? What's your guess? And then sometimes we'll kind of get there together, and depending on how fast it goes, we might do it 2 or 3 times.
But it's just fun, just kind of another interactive thing that gets us talking or whatever. And perhaps one of the words that we bring up reminds us of something, and it sparks another conversation. I mean, I think y'all are hearing this theme here. Just talk to each other and make these moments special, these mundane, like I got to get ready in the morning moments special, and help you connect with each other, And if you have children and you have to get up early to do that, then do it, like, even if it's just 10 minutes to sit down together and share about what you have going on, or, read something together, pray together, like whatever you can do. That's really really what we would encourage you to do, because it does make a difference.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of everything that we do down here, right? I think we've kind of hit everything.
Well, there's one more thing that we do.
Feed.
We are playing with cats the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
We have a stick with a big long ribbon on it to keep Ollie busy, because he's a little wild man in the morning.
Yeah, we have a new kitten, and he's not in the video right now because he would be wreaking havoc. So he is 2 floors up, and he's in the bedroom.
He's locked up in his private
Probably
suite.
not loving life right now, but that's okay.
But yeah, no, we play and laugh at our kittens, cats, a cat and kitten, the whole time we're down here, and just relax. And I don't know, it's just a good way to connect. And then when we get home at the end of the day, it's like, I can ask Brian, how was blah, 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 whatever he had going on, how was that meeting that you had today? How did everything go with your clients? Like, just little things like that, Like, if I have one of the screenings that I do, how did that screening go? And, just whatever. It's It's just another way to constantly check in and talk with each other. Yeah. And it just brings us closer.
You're right.
We know more about each other. Not too much.
No, I don't know. And that's good. So, yeah, I mean, again, for you, I know we said it before, but you may look at all this and go, holy cow, we don't have time for that. What do you people, are you crazy? And
We go to work at 10 o'clock. I'm just kidding.
No.
We don't.
But, again, Heather and I are empty nesters right now. Sometimes we have a little bit more time. There are some days where we don't, where we have maybe early clients. I have an early client, or maybe you have a little bit of an early screening
meeting,
or something like that, an early meeting. So we do have to cut things kind of short. But, I mean, there are some days where we will 30 minutes. But sometimes it might be 15. Yeah. And I'd say to you, I mean, if you can get 10, right? I mean,
if you can get 5 and just pray with each other.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it has to start somewhere. So we are not saying do all the things that you've written down, that we have written down on this list. Like that's us. Yeah. That is us. And it has morphed over the years with what we do. And so our encouragement to you is just start small. Start with one thing that you're like, all right, this is going to be a priority. We're going to do this and see if it makes a difference. See if it brings you closer and just strengthens that connection. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And I guess the vein of keeping things quick and short, we think we're good. But
this one's right? Quick and short. So, right? Yeah. Yep.
So I guess a couple of things for you. Number one is if you're listening to this as an audio podcast, make sure you subscribe. You can go to lovehowdeep.com/podcast to get the podcast through Apple and all the other places that it's available. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you're watching this on video, please do that. There should be a little button down at the right that you can click on to subscribe, or you can go to youtube.com/ @ Love How Deep, and we'll be there. And then a free resource I wanted to mention. Do you want me to mention it?
Yes, because I'm caught off guard.
Yeah, so there's something that was, it's called the No Time Note, which I think kind of flows with what we're talking about. It's just a one-page note. So let's say you don't have time to connect in the morning and do this type of thing. It's a note where you can write down some things about what's going on for the day, maybe some appreciations and affirmations about your partner, and just kind of leave it there, and you both can look at it and see it. So if your time is completely limited, but it's a free resource. Just go out to lovehowdeep.com and we'll make sure we put a link to that in the show notes as well. So I think with that, we are done. So take care until next time.